Alright, we're back. We have here where we left off last time with all the small sockets and the resistors soldered in to this 8088 PC project. So today we're going to probably be doing the capacitors, the big sockets, and maybe some more of the other components. We don't know how long it's going to take, so I'll probably stop after about an hour like I did last time. Maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. I might edit the videos down, so let's get to soldering. Let's start with the capacitors. They taped the flap down here, so I'm not making it easy. There we go. Start with the boards first. This one needs what? This one needs 8 of these capacitors. And this project doesn't require any other types of capacitors, so this is really easy. And these are, I think, ceramic capacitors, not electrolytic, so there's no wrong way to put them in. I don't know if it's in shot. Probably not. Move these out of the way a bit. That's in shot. Probably good enough for now. So now we'll just bend the legs out a little bit. Alright, so that's all of them put in. Now I'm going to solder them in. And I'm starting to run out of this solder, you might be able to see, so I don't have any more of this smaller kind. I have this bigger kind from Radio Shack. That should work. It's just a little bit big for this tiny electronics, but we'll make it work. Alright, there's the capacitors soldered in on this board. I'm just going to clip all the leads. Alright, there's the capacitors on that board taken care of. Now we're going to move on to the other ones. Now I think I'm just going to put them in and then I'll solder them on camera. Alright, I got them put into the board. Now we're just going to solder them in. Alright, there's the soldered in. I'm just going to clip them off. Alright, there's that board with the capacitors in. Now we'll go ahead and get started with this one. There's a lot more that goes on this one. I think if I remember correctly, there's about 20 something capacitors that are supposed to go in here, so I'll go ahead and get those in and I'll solder them on camera. Alright, I got those capacitors in, I'm just going to solder them in. This is where I might run out of solder, but alright, looks like all of them are soldered in. So I'm just going to clip all the leads. Alright, there is all the capacitors. Now we're going to get to doing the bigger sockets. So, here's one of the bigger sockets. This is the 40 pin, so this will be for the CPU. I guess there's two of them. Maybe one of these for the DMA controller, I think, is why I have an extra one. So that'll just go in there. And then find some more of the sockets. This is not a socket. This is also not a socket. TX power. Got this one. This is the keyboard controller socket. So that'll go right there. Let's see, more sockets. Here's another socket. This is 32 pin. I'm sorry this is out of focus, I can't really tell that well. So this probably goes in one of these. No, not one. I don't know if it recorded that last segment, but this is the reset switch from my unbagging here. I bought a couple of them, just in case. Alright, we'll go ahead and get started with what we have here so far. We'll actually start with this board. Here's the RAM and ROM board. We have 2 sockets to solder in so far. This has a certain way it'll go in. There's a little dot there. I'm assuming that's this lever here. This socket here we're going to have to tape in because this socket is bigger than the smaller one. So, keep it in place. Actually, I think we're going to have to break out the other solder. So we're starting to run low. Alright, these solder joints aren't perfect, but we're just gonna hope it's good enough. And I think I didn't quite take into account that socket there because I'm pretty sure these sockets I was hoping I could use for this. So I'm going to get one out here, see if one of these fits. One of these is the right length. Almost. Because I don't think I have any other sockets, so yep, that's the right length. So we're just gonna MacGyver this together here. Probably not the best idea, but we're just going to cut these in half. We're going to see if this ends up working or not. It's unfortunate I don't have the correct socket for this, but if this doesn't end up working, then I can figure something else out. Unfortunately, I was cut short because my camera SD card was full, but we did end up getting it soldered in. It's a little angled, but hopefully that'll be fine. So now I'm just going to do that same process for this board. I'll be back. Alright, I got those sockets in, and I also realized I had not soldered in the CPU socket when I flipped it over. And there was only one component left to finish this board off, so I installed the 24 megahertz crystal. I don't remember which chip. One of these chips divides that down into, I think, divides it by 3, so 8 megahertz for the CPU. My CPU can go up to 16 megahertz. So now we'll see what we can do with the, well, we have both these boards finished off now, I'm pretty sure. So now we'll move on to this board and see what's left to do. Alright, I got the power switch and the reset switch put in place. I think you can put a header there if you want like a case button. This is where the PC speaker will go. I don't know if I'll get that soldered in today or not, but I've started putting in the resistor arrays. Put one in already. These are polarized. There's a common terminal. You see that little dot? That would go right there, where that square is. So, and then that would be the same for these ones. For some reason they came from the factory with the common terminal like cut short, so it kind of barely fits through the board, but I got it soldered on. So I'll get these soldered on, and then maybe I'll get this socket soldered on. Alright, I got the rest of the resistor arrays in, and then I got the keyboard controller socket in. Now I think the next step will be getting the PS2 port, and I would do the ATX power connector, but I'm not exactly sure which way it's supposed to go in because it's not marked on the board. But oh yeah, I guess I have the crystal to do yet. So I'll do the PS2 connector and the crystal, and I'll come back. Alright, I got the PS2 port and the crystal in, and I think that's as far as I'm going to go tonight. I will figure out which way this needs to go in, and then I'll put the ISA slots in, and then I also have to put in the USB hard drive connector in, which I don't have an actual right angle header. So my plan is to use these extra leads from the resistors and capacitors and stuff and bend them over. And I have some headers here that I can use. So bring these back into the shop. This is how far we got in our in this episode. This is how far we got. Alright. See you next time.